Mr. Terry Gardner, Impact Guns.
Oh, Nutnfancy.
Hey man, good to see you. We're here doing a visit with Impact, our friends for a long time. They did a great giveaway, by the way. Yes, thank you very much, Alan and the Impact Guns crew. We're at the Terry Gardner bench again, visiting for one. It's always fun catching up.
Yeah.
I think you and I were just lamenting about getting old and how bad it sucks.
Yeah.
We were talking about running guns, weren't we?
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's things, I just tell him I can't run and gun. Maybe I can sit and plink. But,
I was trying to get Terry G last year to come out to a Nutnfancy running gun. He's like, dude, no way. Ain't happening. If it's a static and gun, yeah, I can do that. And maybe we'll see Terry G out in the desert and we'll modify the course of fire accordingly. All right.
You're too good to me.
No, you're a friend of the project, man.
Okay.
Here we are at the Terry G Gunsmith and Bench. Always interesting stuff we're doing here. That's a DB380, and actually it's in the project for testing. I've shot probably about 300 rounds through it at this point. You'll see a tabletop coming. I really love the DB380, except it's not 100% reliable. I did mention that to Yoda here, and you said
You want it to go bang when you pull this little hangy down thing here.
yeah. So it's a couple stovepipes, failures to feed on both FMJ and hollow point ammo. And what Terry told me, he's like, hey, let me do a, what'd you say, a polish job on the throat?
On the ramp and throat.
Ramp and
area
throat.
of the barrel right here.
All right. So that's what we're going to film right now. Should be a quick video. It's a relatively fast project, and you're going to see how Terry does it.
Yeah.
You do it on a lot of your guns, though, too, don't you?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt. If it doesn't help, it certainly doesn't hurt.
One thing we talk about when we do these videos, though, if some layman out there, in other words, just a gun owner decides to do this, what are some gotchas they have to be aware of?
Basically, just don't go too far. Go easy. Go slow. Because if you mess it up, it's your responsibility, and you'll pay for the load.
Yeah, you're gonna have to replace your barrel. You could actually change your angle on that, right? If you went too deep.
Oh yeah.
Depending on the media you're using and stuff.
Yeah, and sometimes you will, but mostly we won't. We may change this, soften this breakover area just a little bit right here, so it makes the transition just a little bit easier.
Okay, that looks fairly polished right now on that DB380.
Yeah, they do a pretty good job from the factory, actually.
Mm-hmm. It is for the most part, a well-made gun, except Terry G's got an interesting data point on his. You want to share that?
On my DB380 right here, when
that's
I first got
Terry's, by the way, personal gun.
When I got that, within about 20 rounds or less.
20 rounds.
This part right here, the rear rail, it's a cast part. It's a MIM part, machine injection molded part, metal injection molded, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
It broke down in this area inside the frame, and it still functioned, but it, of course, it lifted up and down and stuff, and it was broken. If you take the slide off, you can lift the rails right out. However, to Diamondback's credit, I called them. I told them about the problem. They said send it back to me. I did. Very quick turnaround. I had the gun back. I've put maybe 100 rounds through it now, and no problem so far.
Cool.
They
does your opinion on MIM parts change at all?
No, there's failures in everything.
That's what I said too.
Yeah, it was a bad part, so it happens.
Right. I totally agree with that. I think not that, if I could get it for the same cost, sure, I'll take a forged part any day.
Oh yeah.
But the problem is it ain't going to be the same cost. It's going to be like triple, quadruple the cost is how that's going to work for you.
Yeah, it is a cost-effective deal for manufacturing, so I can see their part of it.
Yeah. God, that's a cool little gun, though. I mean, if we can get this thing chugging along at 100%, it is a mini Glock. Finally, the 380. The Glock, everyone has been saying this for years, that Glock should have came out with years ago. Finally, it's a reality. And Terry has an interesting point on the DB380 before we get to work. Glock upper, you're saying, very car-like. That's K-A-H-R on the bottom. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yeah, the upper is assembled. It's put together just like a Glock, as a matter of fact. It's got the rear, the end plate comes out, the firing pin comes out. There's everything about it is just like a Glock.
It's a mini Glock. Even the radiusing there on the muzzle end on the slide.
Totally, and then this part down here, you see this part here, the sear, that operates on the striker, in the slide here pulls it back and then releases it. That is just like a car. This has dual action bars or trigger bars. It rolls that back, and that works like a car. It's got a car-like trigger pull. It's a double action type every time. It does not have the trigger safety like a Glock, but it rolls, and it's very smooth and very car-like.
Do you find it pinches your finger at all when you shoot it? Do you have any issues with the trigger?
It hasn't. There's a
I don't
couple
see
guns
much.
that does pinch my finger. A Super
Yeah.
Blackhawk Ruger pinches my finger
Right.
big time, but this one does not.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I like how it's a steel trigger.
Yes, it is.
And
it is
they
steel.
brag about the materials in the manual. They actually use some pretty, maybe not this min part back here, but the rest is, they brag a lot about it. DB, how much work they put in it and their choice materials.
This looks like a min part to me, the trigger, but it is metal.
Yep.
You can see the webbing back here, and
Yep.
so it's definitely cast.
Okay.
This is the magazine catch is metal, as is the magazine.
I like their magazine. It looks like it's made by Metgar.
It might be. It's made in Italy, and I believe that's where Metgar is made, isn't it?
Yeah. That's a Metgar finish. You see that high polish made in Italy. Almost, which is a good thing, by the way. They rock. Love Metgar magazines. How's your mag release, by the way? Mine, you really have to. See, yours is more gentle. I like yours better. Push my mag release and push yours. It's really stout. I called DB on that too. I said, "Hey, Diamondback, is that supposed to be like that?" They're like, "Yeah, we're making it very difficult to actuate, so you don't accidentally drop your mag." A good thing, but I think
mine is a little soft, easier to push.
there's not much you can do with that either. I think because
I don't think
that's
so.
just a little finger of spring steel, I think, in there. Oh, look at TG, man! Check what he's doing. He's got his Preon 2 coming out. Yeah, he's outfitted.
Yeah, there's a torsion spring down in there. So.
There's not much you can do with that, I don't think.
No.
I mean, I can live with it. It's not like a showstopper for me.
Yeah, Preon 2 I bought because of you. You know that.
Awesome. Along with about 10,000 other folks, apparently. Love that Preon 2. Here's mine right there. I got the flat cap on mine.
Oh yeah.
Look, he's like looking at me while he's doing the work on my gun. He's probably gonna like totally remount the chamber.
You did want a 40, didn't you?
Dude, can you imagine a 40 out of that? Ouch.
I guess that have to be a 357 SIG with that barrel.
I think there's a point of diminishing returns on size and weight, and this might be unusual coming from me, Mr. Always concerned about weight. But I mean, if you get a super tiny, lightweight gun and you throw a decent chambering in it, I don't think most people can shoot them accurately, Yoda.
You got to stay with your comfort zone as far as recoil management.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to put rounds on target. I'd rather put a 38 special on target than shoot a, I don't know, 500 Smith & Wesson and miss.
Well, that's what they say in competition, like for pin shooting or something like that. Normally, you cannot miss fast enough to win.
Right.
So
I talk about that a lot in the project. Check out the sign, by the way. TG's got this. Terry's Gunsmithing. He immediately pointed out how that Peacemaker, right, Yoda?
Right.
Peacemaker's all jacked up. They have it backwards, and they don't have the loading gate right. He's like, I don't know who did that image, but it was messed up.
Okay.
Do you do that on all your 1911s too?
Certainly. Yeah.
No matter what, you just do it.
Yeah. Even if it doesn't help much, it certainly doesn't hurt.
It makes you feel better if nothing else, right?
Yeah.
And it looks cooler when you're shooting it off.
Absolutely.
Like a highly polished lamp. It's such an easy thing to do. Why don't they do it? I mean, it looks like Diamondback did do it to a certain degree, but why don't most manufacturers do that? It's such an easy...
Because of cost. Every minute that they have a gun on the production line costs money.
They're paying someone like you making $185 an hour, right?
Absolutely. At least
I meant to say $18.50 an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lower. Hey, check this out. He's got a couple TNP stickers up there. Nice. TNP. By the way, at this point, Yoda is a Nutnfancy personality in his own right for the project. What? Over a year now, right? Probably over a year that we've been doing vids together.
Yeah.
We need to get you out doing maybe not a run and gun, Like I said, I think in another video we'll do for Terry a wheelchair and gun. Maybe.
I'm all over that.
Oh, he's even lubing it for me. That Miltech?
Actually, it's weapon shield.
Weapon shield. I get those all confused. That's it.
That's my.
Yeah, it's about the same stuff. It's a synthetic lubricant that doesn't congeal.
It is. It's
you know what?
Militech bottle. But...
You kind of converted me on that. Did you know that? The synthetic lubes?
Well, good. Somebody's got to have some kind of effect on you.
You did. You taught me, man. And I took a gun apart that I'd used another lubricant on, which will remain nameless for now. It had congealed a little bit.
Oh, really?
A little bit. I'm just saying. You know, also use, sometimes I'll use a little bit of light grease on there too.
Yeah.
Seems to stay in position better on the rails. And yes, it works good. Even in dusty environments, I've found. Check this out. What are you doing, dude?
I'm going to stone your breech face just a little bit.
I love it when my breech face is stoned.
Yeah, and what that's going to do, of course,
I could say some other things that were even funnier than that, but I won't on camera. What?
Family show.
That's right.
It'll help the cartridge slide up past the firing pin area and stuff a little bit easier. And
master at gunsmithing.
And it just helps the feeding a little bit.
I will say the Diamondback 380 in my shooting has been pretty reliable. I'll give it a percentage rating, as I sometimes do. Maybe 92%. There you go. There's a number for you. 92% reliable. Still not high enough if you ask me. You want it to be...
Well, many manufacturers, because of manufacturing burrs and little glitches and so forth, they'll often tell you, shoot our gun 200, 300, 400 times before you use it for self-defense. So
Right.
It's a break-in period.
Yeah, and I do give that allowance to these little tiny guns like the Kel-Tec P3AT, the Ruger LCP. I allow them a 200 round break-in period before I start holding them to it. And honestly, the Diamondback has gone beyond that, and we're still seeing a few failures.
Okay.
And that's why we're working it over. So if someone sees this and says, man, that looks cool, I want Terry G to polish my...
So we're not taking a bunch of dimension, we're just polishing a couple of high spots. Okay?
Yeah.
And for cosmetic purposes, we make it look better, we'll just take a little bit of cold blue and go over those polished areas. And
Okay. Someone wants to send their gun in, when are you going to charge them for that?
oh, for this,
$12?
ramp and throat's like $35, something like that.
All right. And everybody makes a big deal about sending the gun in, but it really is not that big of a deal, right?
No, just a couple of steps you got to go through. You got to send it overnight, next day air with FedEx or UPS. It's a policy for them, so it helps them take care of your gun.
Did you catch that, by the way, guys? It is a policy of UPS and FedEx that you ship overnight. Not a requirement. Read between the lines. Thank you. Okay,
Yeah,
that's all I'll say.
You can't ship.
It's not law. Yeah, don't go through USPS. That is
Unless
United States
you're an
Postal
FFL
Service.
holder.
That's a big no-no.
That is a federal law.
That's a law right there. But when you shoot through third party or whatever, FedEx, UPS. I don't mind that trigger on there either, dude.
Oh, I love the trigger.
I think the trigger's decent.
It is decent.
And you know what? These DBs are accurate. Oh my gosh, at least mine is. I mean, I outshot some 1911s with that thing at the range the other day,
There's
indoor
a
range.
couple of ammunition brands that they like better than others. You find the one it likes, it will shoot.
Do you find that, in your experience, I have my own opinions, but most 380s are that way?
Oh yeah, most guns are that way.
Yeah.
Where you find it the most prevalent is on a 22 semi-automatic.
But are you talking accuracy or reliability?
Yes.
Accuracy.
Yes, both.
Because reliability-wise, I have a higher standard, though, Yoda. I say that reliability-wise, guns nowadays, this is the end part of 2010, they should be 100% reliable with most quality brands of ammunition. If it hiccups with, let's say, I don't know, Winchester White Box, I'll have an issue with that gun. Because I say, that, and it depends on the type of gun, but let's say a service gun like the Ruger SR9, if it was hiccuping with a quality ammo, that's a problem. To me.
But you've got also different things involved. You've got not only the gun with all of its manufacturing tolerances and so forth, but your ammunition manufacturers have their own tolerances.
True.
Different bullet batches, different powder batches, different primer batches. Anything can go wrong.
Yeah, but quality control should be higher, and I'm talking center fire. When you go to rim fire, the 22 long rifle, I'm more forgiving. And we just had that discussion off camera how bad bulk 22 ammo is these days.
Lately, yeah.
It's just horrible. You're getting huge failures to fire, no primer in the cup, just squib loads. You've seen that too.
Just got to remember, everything is made by people, and people are fallible.
Yep, except you.
Oh, yeah.
You're a machine. He's a cyborg. There you go. That's a little bit of gunsmithing on the DB380. We might be able to shoot that later with Terry G and do a little credit card drill, Nutnfancy style. Pitting it against another outstanding 380, the SIG P238.
Yes.
Your Equinox, to be more specific.
Okay. Yeah.
And by the way, you're buying the ammo on that.
Oh, wonderful.
Awesome. Love Terry. Such a good dude. This is Nutnfancy, Terry G at the workbench. Impact Guns Ogden. See ya!
Bye.